Quay, morning reverence, 5 a.m. in the morning, Tuesday, the 11th of June, 2024. A very zombie-like, not alive, not awake, and definitely not here. We were John Sears in California. Well, I'd usually put the grr in there, but not this morning. Oh, good lord. Yeah, I know you've been catching the vids on this one here, Rev. There was an article that was being talked about on CNN. Um, Apparently at the rallies, that old gas bag had been out there and stating that, even on last night's thing, I couldn't even find this thing yet, but it's going to be out there. Uh, he went after the Christian conservatives, challenging them. The Democrats are not religious. Okay, I don't accept. I don't accept. I'm sorry. I don't get it. I don't get it, Reverend. In your knowledge base, in your experiences, next time if we happen to talk, hopefully Wednesday, maybe we'll be able to talk about this, even if it's going to be typing in the chats. But can I get it off my chest? Anybody can be religious into their own faith. Doesn't have to be a political party, but unfortunately, we've politicized it so much in the United States. I don't know what it is anymore. Are we trying to do a Sharia law or something like that? I mean, if I'm going to be questioning my own faith, I was raised under Methodism. I was raised under that. I had a spiritual experience, an out of body experience that transcends the religious aspects of things. So do I know that there's life after death? Yeah. Did it scare the living crap out of this 4-year-old kid having open heart surgery? Yeah. But then afterwards, I had to find out the format of religion to try to get a handle on God. But when you have a spiritual experience like that, it's very difficult to have that kind of experience and understand it more and more. I mean, yeah, sure, I gravitated towards Methodism. I liked some of the sermons, what they were talking about in church, and I liked the church and the people at the time, so I had no issues with it. I also liked the Baptist, but Ma wasn't comfortable with baptism. Growing up as a kid, between 2 to 10, I was living in North Hollywood at the time. A couple of places during those years. First was in an apartment complex, and then a house. But across the apartment complex was this Baptist church. I barely remember what the place was like, except maybe for church school. I never remembered at least not as much of what the sermon was. Almost fire and brimstone, I think. Except that's what they kept calling it Baptist, or fire and brimstone and stuff like that. But it was something that Ma wanted to raise Dave and me under anyway, and I didn't know anything about it. Ma wasn't comfortable about it. According to what my brother kept telling me, we bounced from one place to another place until we went over to North Hollywood Methodist. Somebody recommended it. Good people, good sermons, and it didn't teach fire and brimstone, but it actually did teach about love. Okay, cool. So I got confirmed, later on in life into the church. Before that, you get baptized. But I wasn't hearing anything coming out of the pastors during those days about people hating religion or people hating faith. They're practically using faith. Well, sometimes in church you still get pious and piety people. Think they're better than anybody else, but sometimes maybe not. But things change and so do people. And some church families fall out of favor. Maybe it was time to grow and go. And in my youth, I did not understand why people would use religion against other people. Were we all of one God? In the Christian faith, did we not all understand Jesus? Or try to understand him through the scriptures? Maybe I was a very trusting soul as a kid during that time. But if I was so trusting, how come I couldn't feel the connection with God during that time? Because there was a lot of chaos, confusion, a lot of anger, a lot of fear. How do I get in contact with someone like that? And I wanted to get in contact with them. Sometimes I'd pray and just listen. I didn't feel anything. I'd sit in the pews and pray, and then things still happened. It would have been nice if I actually had an angel with a comforting hand on his shoulder. I mean, at least maybe I would have recognized that. I didn't. At least not that I remembered anyway. But to me, we tried to live in a faith-based, but we also tried to live in reality. Sometimes reality and faith usually clashed with each other. And as I started learning more and more about what was happening around me and other places, religion became more and more of a. I can't laugh about that one. I can't do a chuckle on that one because it's you learn about other countries having religion running them and them being the primary sole function of government is pure religion. Only you get the public offices as probably the sham right there, the shell of it. And talk about Iran. Maybe a few other countries that depend upon religion more instead of politics, of government. When religion becomes government and stays in power that way, I look at it not as what God would have it, but as ego would want it, edging God out. The self centered will that we all have. Hearing what Trump kept trying to drill into the conservative Christians out there, Democrats don't believe in religion. Well, we do believe in religion. We have religion. It's not the U.S. Constitution. It's whatever our faith that we were raised under and brought up under. Sorry. Wait, I'm just wheezing. I don't get it. I don't get it. Democrats? Republicans? Republicans are supposed to be the conservative type where they're supposed to be heavily in religion, and yet they're going to be using religion as a weapon. But they claim that the Democrats are evil. We're not religious. We're against religion. Well, I'm for religion, but I'm also for the Constitution. In the First Amendment of the Constitution, there has to be a separation, and there's reasons for that. We didn't want organized religion. And apparently we have people want organized religion. They want religion running everything. Basically Sharia law. And I keep looking back at Iran as an example. Dictatorship. Authoritative regime. Used in the guise of religion. If or when Judgment Day comes, people are going to be looking for the grandiose displays. No. Somewhere, I think, in the New Testament, I think Christ was telling us that he'd come in like a thief in the night. He'd come in subtly. He'd come in when you least expect it. And he would come in a form that we would not recognize unless we knew him. In a form of strangers that we don't know. Or maybe we knew, but still trying to get used to. He would come in a form that we would least recognize. And if we didn't understand it, if we didn't understand shibboleth, I am not worthy. To tell you the truth, I'm a screw up. I'm a fool. I'm an idiot. I screwed things up a lot of times, and yeah, I cursed and cussed like a salty sailor word. I think we all did. Judged like crazy, and that's the hardest thing not to do is judge people. But unfortunately, in our time in our life, yeah, we judge. It's not just judging ice cream flavors. Do you like chocolate? Do you like vanilla? Do you like strawberry? Do you like them all together at the same time, Neapolitan, or not? You like Rocky Road? Well, Rocky Road's got other stuff in it, but it's got chocolate. What about chocolate chip? Well, let's see, you got chocolate and vanilla in it. Mitten chip. Well, let's say flavored vanilla, flavored and colored green vanilla, and still chocolate in there. So let's make that kind of distinction right there. But we're talking about religion. We're talking about faith. We're talking about, is it the individual or is it the collective that they're more worried about? They try to say with all the people over here, but we are of faith. We believe in God. Okay, fine. You believe in God, but are you doing whatever you're supposed to be doing? Sometimes I wonder if heaven's going to be an exclusive club. I mean, if we don't believe in a certain way, in a certain path, and a certain understanding of God, then we're not going to be worthy of it. Maybe we're going to be cast out or something like that. That's the thing I have a problem with concerning about religion when they want you to believe in a certain way, in a certain fashion, and that's how it is to get into heaven, because if you don't, you're going to be going to hell. We can put ourselves through hell on earth, you know that. Live through someone else's hell. I did. My family. But we got through it. Through religious beliefs, through prayer, through action, following one pathway or another pathway just to navigate our way through it. But yeah, I would hope that when Ma passed away, that she would have been worthy to go into heaven, according to what my brother had told me and what he had listened the last days of Ma's life. I think maybe God still deemed my mother as worthy to go into heaven. I hope. And my brother, on the other hand, well, I know he was a pain in the ass, but he wasn't going after hurting people either. He didn't believe in that. He was always after helping a little guy or somebody in need. We could. And there's nothing wrong with that either, because that's what we're supposed to be doing on earth, learning how to do that, right? I'm wondering, did I learn the lessons enough for that too? But now I got to start thinking if I'm going to be worthy of heaven or just have to keep focusing on life as it is and just keep dealing with that and let history and everything else judge me on that one. But question me about my religion, about my faith, make me ask myself if I'm not religious enough for someone else's viewpoint, their opinion, they're judging on me on this one. It's bad enough I have to ask myself on that question. My brother's question always comes up to haunt me all the damn time. Where's your faith in God? Where's my faith and trust in God? Or where's my trust in God? I said in some of my videos about absolute faith and also turning absolute fanaticism. Somewhere in there. God asks a lot of us to do things that we're normally not comfortable doing because it's outside of our comfort zone and maybe a way to make ourselves grow in a way spiritually, mentally, if not physically. Can we not do this? And it still questions whether or not if I'm going to be able to have a religious party that deals with a religion or not. Well, I'm not changing to conservative. I may be conservative in certain ways, but doesn't mean I'm a conservative. And I understand about being a liberal who may question socialism a little bit, especially when people keep talking about it. As I understand about socialism, government trying to pay for things still comes out of yours in my pocket. Well, if you were a U.S. citizen and the U.S. territories paying taxes, that's a thing. You're a Canadian. Or maybe you got dual citizenship, I don't know. Dealing with a government system here, asking the question whether or not, I forgot what the damn question was in the first place. Good Lord. Memory slip. Still need more sleep. It's too damn early in the morning. I should be back in bed sleeping. But I needed to get this off the chest. For me, social programs is taxes coming out of my pocket, one way or another, to pay for programs, pay for services. We live in a socialist society of sorts. Surely in Canada, you guys pay taxes. Sales taxes, property taxes, taxes for that, taxes for this, taxes for that, tax, tax, tax. You want your roads? You want your fire department? You want your police department? You want your infrastructure? You want your phones working? You want your water? You want your power? That's how it is. That's how it is. It's not for the common good, it's for everybody's good. But also have to pay down the power bill, don't you? You're going to be chewing on power, you got to be paying for it. That's how it is. You want a roof over your head, Reverend? Are you renting? Or are you buying? Or are you already own? Okay. So you own, you probably got property taxes. You go into a store, you're paying taxes for goods and services. Maybe. I don't know how it works in Canada. But let's just say your particular area was part of the United States somehow, Maine or something like that. Okay. And let's just say that you're in Maine and you own your home. State taxes, federal taxes. Well, mostly state. Paying for property taxes at that point. Of course, you got the power bill. You got the water bill. You got heating oil. So you got to pay for that one. A lot of things we have to pay for. Of course, you like ambulance service, right? Going to the hospital. You needed some way to get over there, right? Let's say you just had a coronary. Somebody called 911 on you. You're like an ambulance, right? Is it a private company or is it county or city run? Is it volunteer? Well, maybe, maybe not. Private entities usually charge too. You got insurance? Medical insurance? So let's just say part of your medical insurance covers ambulance emergency services. You still get a copay. You still get a chunk out of your pocketbook right there. But still, comes out of your pocket. In your hospital, your insurance is trying to take care of it. Then whatever kind of insurance you got, you're taking care of some of the rest of the stuff, and everything else is negotiable, or maybe not. And let's just say that somehow or another, you are part of a situation that requires law enforcement, and you require their services. Right after you got out of the hospital from a massive coronary in your town that just got annexed into the United States territory, you got now need local constabulary protection. So guess what, Reverend? You need help, but you're gonna have to pay for it. You want the cops? Shell out the property taxes. Okay, so situation resolved. And the cops said, okay, we won't charge you, we won't bill you, but we're going to take the money out of your property taxes because that pays our bills. Okay, riding down the road. Somehow the weathering out there had cracked some foundations, made some crumbling on overpasses or bridges or stuff like that. Your infrastructure concerning about roads are in dismay. You need help? Part of your taxes that you keep paying into a system pays for that. Part of the state and part of the Fed. If they got a grant or if they've got a loan coming from the federal government, will come from everyone else's pocket just to pay for that infrastructure because everyone else is using the public transportation there, aren't they? Of course, talking about public transportation, your car breaks down. And you can't get to your doctor's appointment for that follow-up visit, can you? So now you got to depend upon your own Metro Transportation Authority. Now, is it a private entity or is it run by city or county or by state? Tax, 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 tax. Oh, by the way, besides the tax, 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 I still want $1.50 for the one-way charge. I mean, you are taking my bus over here. It is route such and such, and we're heading over to your doctor's office. So, pay it up. Exact change, please. We'll take $1.02. Now, for America, you do $1 and 2 American quarters. No Canadian dollars. So now we got transportation. Oh, you're going to be flying out? He says your heart's going to be dealing with it? Well, that's a private entity right there. But you still need to have the airport maintained, right? Money, 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 money. Property tax, property tax, property tax. I didn't see anything concerning commercialism or private enterprises coming involved, did I? That's even worse. That's even worse, Reverend. So suffice it to say that under socialism, we pay for it. We don't we don't make money off of the thing because we're paying for services we need. And sometimes they keep worrying about that one. Oh, free education. No, it's not free education. It's coming out of taxpayer money. Even the grants I use in the state of California and through the FAFSA come from taxpayer money. So I have to make good of what I'm doing with them. Eventually, I got to prove to people that my education was well worth it. On that note, but how does that help me with my faith? I'm a Democrat. I'm a liberal. I understand about socialism. I deal with socialism. But that means I don't have faith? I don't have faith in a power greater than myself that's trying to keep me alive, keep me sane? But I still got to do the dirty work down here. And here's another thing, a little somewhat off topic here. I came across a TED Talk, lecture talks that you come across on YouTube these days. This one came out about a couple of days ago from I call him a neuroscientist, but he calls himself a psychoanalyst, psychiatrist, and brain researcher at the same time. This guy pissed me off. June11. He is an associate professor of the practice at the Department of Medical Neurobiology in Israel. Basically, he's telling us that grieving and pain and heartache is all neurochemicals and give us some drugs and we'll feel better. Reverend, I got pissed off with that one. It seems like we keep pushing more and more drugs down people's throat. Reminds me too much of the book Brave New World. Everyone dependent upon drugs. They keep them going. The drug Soma. It's a different thing out here for us in reality, but in the book Soma, everybody wants it. Helps mellow them out. Worse than any other kind of neurochemicals you can actually have your brain being influenced by. That makes me feel like a damn lab rat. It really makes me feel like a damn lab rat. This guy doesn't know about human emotions. We're just all chemicals, and that's about it. Nothing about the human soul. Nothing about the human heart. Not the pumping mechanism, but the one that we've been installed by the boss man upstairs. I know everything that we have, that we experience. We have five senses that are getting all sorts of transmitted materials through the nerve endings into the brain that processes everything around us. So what we experience is everything what our sensory organs are locked onto. But is that also dealing with loss? But they say, yes, it is. Because we got these chemicals being released over here, now we feel lousy about it. But if we put some certain chemicals in here, almost narcotic level, then we can feel better. You know what really pissed me off on that one? I seen how Ma was dealing with neurotransmitters like crazy in the form of a drug called decipramine for 2 or 3 decades until we had doctors switching the drugs around her left to right. Changed your moods left and right. Almost becoming dependent upon some of the stuff. When you get off of it, even for a week, the body goes through chemical adjustments or readjustments in the brain, the neurochemistry, and then the chemicals that we have in our brains that moderate our moods, our thinking patterns, our thought patterns, dependent upon so much of the damn chemicals coming in that once you're deprived of it for a short time, it changes you. Ma scared the shit out of Dave and me when we had a week of decipramine drugs not being put into Ma. We had a UPS driver at one time just dumped the box in an area that we couldn't locate the stuff, even though it looked like it was right there. And for about a week, Dave was on the doctor's office. He was at the UPS. They couldn't get any pharmacy refills. And the drugs were still in our backyard, not touched, until Dave actually found the damn things. It took Ma a while to get back onto the drug level that she was used to. But it was terrifying to see this woman having conniption fits and turning into from Mrs. Jekyll into Miss Hyde. My brother had gone through combat when he was in the military. And he got out, and other things that happened to him in the military he couldn't deal with. 1 second. I just need to go out real fast. Sorry about that. I was trying to save my checks. Blue pads I have to get every so often. Long story. Another tape. Anyway, I think I will do that one.